Quick review of Attio, and Attio is a CRM I've been seeing pop up more and more here and there, and I think it's part of the blossoming no code ecosystem, or at least tangential to it. Um, Diving right into it, I think Attio really positions itself as a modular CRM that can be used for a variety of use cases, not just sales, whether you're in recruiting or venture capital or any sort of domain or field where you have a lot of deal flow, leads, volume that you need to manage. Attio claims to be modular and customizable enough and simple enough to meet all of these different use cases while still providing its core functionality. So I'm gonna take a look right into it. Um, Before I dive into the actual platform itself, I'm actually gonna take a step back and talk about the user onboarding experience for a second. And the fact that Attio has a dedicated video that someone made from a channel called SaaS UI Design, just talking about the onboarding experience, I think speaks volumes because the onboarding experience, as you can see being demoed right now, was just so clean, simple, intuitive. Quite frankly, I don't recall the last time I signed up for any software product that had a similar onboarding experience. And I'm going to come back to why I think it's so important, and the name of this YouTube channel should maybe give you a hint or two on what I'm referring to. But point here to take away is onboarding was as clean as can be. So when you look at Attio itself, the product, um, first impression is this looks like Notion. Whether you use Notion or not for your workspace needs, if you take a look at their product and you take a look at this, they look almost identical, go hand in hand. I wondered if I was the only person who felt this way. I did a bit of digging, found that there were others who felt the same way as well. This guy over here, Chris Strobel, no, this is not me. I'm assuming by his handle, someone who specializes in no code or enjoys no code applications. Attio feels like Notion, and I felt the exact same way when I saw the CRM as well. But what you're looking at here is the records page. So as you'll probably see in a typical CRM, you'll have a record or a list of all your companies, all your accounts that you need to manage, the individual people. So that's what you're seeing right here. This is the main page. Left hand, we have a sidebar that we can collapse in and out as needed. And right hand, we have our settings and account. Nothing too crazy. Click into any one of these company records. You get the opportunity to see any activity, recent activity on the account. These were changes that were made by you or somebody else. Any emails that were logged as a part of this account, back and forth, either from your account team or customers that sent correspondence over to you. Any files that's being stored, any files that are relevant to the account, notes that you've created, team members for the account team, and any tasks and deadlines you can, assign. Here's a date, here's a link record, and more or less, the UI is exactly like Notion. Zooming out a little bit, same goes for people. So any leads, any context you have for each of these records, similar view. You can customize these views however you want. Filter, sort, link them to records, link them to accounts, and get a kind of single view of all the leads you have in your CRM. Going through the sidebar a little bit more, notifications, pretty self-explanatory. Tasks, these will pop up and surface as per um, the due dates that you've assigned them. This is one I created a few days ago. Cleanup CRM due October 9th. It's flagged in red because it's overdue. But again, you have a singular view and a singular pane to see all the tasks you have upcoming. Here, another place to create notes. I just can't get over how almost identical this looks in Notion with the pop-ups and even the font. Again, a singular view to see all your notes. You can link them to different accounts, and as you look at your accounts on a account by account basis, you can check out all the notes related to them. Same goes for emails. Reports. Creating reports, I had two thoughts here. One, let's take a look over here. So when you create a dashboard is basically going to be a collection of reports. And let's take a look at the reports that they have here. So this is a companies by country count. I remember when I looked at all the reports possible, I'm trying to find out where that was. They were pretty rudimentary and simple report. I don't recall being able to create, crazy different reports in terms of views and dimensions. Pretty standard bar charts, line graphs, pie charts. Majority of people, those will suffice for use cases, but if you're looking for more advanced reporting, I don't think what Attio has, at least out of the box, will be enough for you. And then once you create a report, a collection of reports will go into a dashboard. If you've ever used Salesforce, pretty similar workflow as well. So on the reporting end, that's what it looks like as well. Um, I really wanted to explore the modularity and the customizability for Attio a little bit more, but quite frankly, I didn't see that very apparently. I checked out, let's see here, their guide, and they do have a lot of workflows you can set up with Zapier, but I don't think this is unique to Attio, right? I think a lot of CRMs, especially the mature ones, tend to have a lot of integrations with other platforms, whether that's Pipedrive or Zapier or anything of the matter. You do have the ability to, create different workflows, whether that's creating forms or through your contacts or through your scheduling. Let's see where that section is. Tasks and to-dos. You can link it with Asana, ads, so on and so forth. So it's cool that all these integrations are available, especially considering that Attio is relatively nascent. It's relatively new and blossoming. Um, but like I said, this is not inherent to Attio. This is not the first time I've seen um, integrations available on Zapier. So take that for what you will. Attio really does market itself, at least from its ad copy or its marketing copy, that it's very modular and customizable to your needs. Yes, with an asterisk, you can customize it. It's not the craziest customizations I've ever seen. It's a pretty simple and intuitive CRM. And I think that's the crux of it, right? What I really like about Attio is that it does the core functionality of a CRM really, really well. It's not over engineered, and the UI is just absolutely beautiful. When I say this, a lot of people may, gloss over this, but I do think having a good user interface and a good user experience is fundamental for having any sort of CRM or record keeping system. The reason being, it's hard to incentivize or always be on top of people to input their, calls, their data, their leads, their records, update it, refresh it. I remember a time back when I had to use Salesforce. I absolutely hated Salesforce, right? It would take 10 clicks to get to wherever I wanted. It was clunky. It took forever to load. It was just not an enjoyable experience. I didn't enjoy going in there checking out, my leads or records or data, nor did I go enjoy going in there and updating and maintaining the information on there on a regular basis as well. And as anyone knows, garbage in equals garbage out, right? If you don't have good quality information in there, you're not going to get good quality insights or good quality learnings or good quality status updates to monitor your sales activity and your sales progress. So for that sole reason, I do think that's where Attio really stands out, and that's where its bread and butter is. From a business perspective, I really wonder how defensible that is, especially because there is another alternative which I haven't explored just yet, but it looks like Folk.app is another CRM. Just visually looks very similar to Notion, the same way Attio does. I'll have to take a deeper look into, what its customizations look like, what other bells and whistles it has, what other integrations it has. But this looks like a almost clone of Attio. But at least from a user interface perspective, that's really where Attio stands out, especially compared to other CRMs. If you are considering Attio for your CRM needs or your record keeping needs, Two points to consider. One, it is relatively new and relatively developing. They have been putting out new features and new updates and new releases on a regular cadence. The question is, will the CRM be able to grow as your company grows? Just because it is so simple and straightforward. For some use cases and some companies, this may suffice. For others, this may not be enough. But like I said, what it does well is the core functionality of a CRM and user interface. Um, I also wonder, you can build a CRM in Notion. There's plenty of CRM templates in Notion. You'll probably get maybe like 25 to 50% of the functionality you see here in Attio. It's not as dynamic, not as robust, obviously building out in Notion. But again, if you want a really, 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 really lightweight use case with a similar user interface, you can build something like this out on Notion yourself. But if you want a simple CRM that does its core functionality at a very high degree, looks nice, fun to play with, you'll enjoy going into every single day, Attio is something you can consider. But let me know your thoughts. This is my read. I'll come back to this as I learn more. But let me know your thoughts and if you've used Attio in the past, what you think about it. Thanks so much.